All right, all right. We are ready to go. And hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome. I am Sharon, your retirement coach diva, and I am here this evening with my friend Del Rio Norris, who is here to talk about her wonderful business and how she uses pets for therapy. So make sure you are listening, make sure you are sharing this information because it is very important. I mean, Del Rio and I were talking, and we just talked about how I'm not gonna tell you, we're gonna talk about some now. So that way you won't get too much right now. It's like, oh, I heard it all. No, we're going to give you a little bit by a little bit. So thank you, Del Rio, for coming this evening and talking with me and talking with those that will be logging on now and in the future about your business, Chi Life. I'm so excited to hear more about it. But let's talk about the person behind Chi Life first. So let's hear it from you and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be on and talk about Chi Life and about mental health and pets. I'm just your average everyday person, living life and going through the ups and downs of life. And I've discovered one of the ways of coping with a lot of things that happen daily, weekly, monthly is by having a pet. And I have my own dog. Her name is Luna. And she is just really instrumental in helping me go through the things that happen on a regular basis. So I thought to myself, if I'm having these issues, other people are having these issues. So that's where Chi Life came into play because I thought about the different stages of life and how having a pet, specifically for me, a dog, helps in those stages of life, like in early childhood, getting those social skills that you need, learning how to play and get along with others and make friends. Having a dog is very helpful with that because that's like your first friend, your friend that forgives you for everything and loves you no matter what and follows you everywhere you go. So then when you're around other people, you kind of know how to play and how to interact. And then on the opposite spectrum, when you get older, you've gone through that stage in life where you're no longer out working anymore. So you don't have that socialization at work. You're not going out as much, maybe because of health issues, and you're alone. And then there goes a pet right there because you have a companion to be with you. And there's also some health benefits to that as well. But that's why Chi Life came about. I just really saw the need for pet therapy.
Okay, all right. And so you talked about, from childhood through, well, I'll say from the cradle to the grave, because you're basically, that's how we look from life, from cradle to grave. And so you talked about how mental health and also just having a pet. And so I remember, having a pet, so a few pets when I was a child. And then once I became like a teenager or so, not so much.
Mhm.
And then, here I am now. Like I'll put this disclaimer out there. I do not have pets. I just I I not I just don't have pets.
That's okay.
they
That's
they're
absolutely okay.
fine, but my children have pets, and so I just see them pets when I go over their house. But there are people who love pets and have them and like their children, like their own children. So tell me, did you grow up with pets?
We had pets when I was growing up, but specifically for the pet to belong to me, no, they were like family pets.
Mm.
So when I got older, I had a dog that was just mine. She was just mine. I didn't have to share her with anybody. There was no, you had your turn, it's my turn. So it made it a little bit different for me. But I've always known the joy of having a pet in the home. So I was lucky in that aspect.
Oh, so tell me about how different is it from having like as a family pet than go into having your own?
Well, that's pretty easy. When you have a family pet, that pet gets to choose and decide who the pet wants to spend the time with. And so certain times of the day, depending on what you're doing, the pet's gonna be with that person. Like if the mom's in the kitchen cooking, the pet's gonna be in the kitchen. If the kid's
Mhm,
outside playing, it wants to go outside and play. But
mhm,
now that I have my own pet, she works around my schedule. If I just want to watch TV, she's perfectly happy watching Lifetime. If
mhm,
I want to go outside and take a walk, oh, that's just the best thing she ever heard of. She's excited about it. And the coolest thing about having a pet of my own is every time I come home, it's like we're to her. It's like we're meeting for the first time. She's jumping and bouncing and just so excited. And I don't get that enthusiasm from anybody else. So it just makes it really special.
Okay. So how did the having a pet as a child, how did that build to you for you in order to move to having the pet, now as an adult?
Well, as a child, when you want to play, you always want to play, or you're bored, or you need something to do. When you have a pet, you have something to do. You're not bored. So I always saw the value in having a pet because that was an instant playmate, somebody that's there just to have fun, just for me. And as I grew older, I realized that I didn't necessarily want to always play, but I did like having someone there just for me.
Mm,
My pet doesn't have really a schedule other than the schedule that I set. So if I feel like taking my pet and going out, we're out. I mean, my dog can jump in a pocketbook, so it's very easy to scoop her up and go. Um, and just the same, she has big dog feelings, so she doesn't know she's little.
right.
We have some really fun things happen when we go out because she thinks she's this great big dog, but she's this little tiny dog. Like a funny story, we were walking and this big dog comes up to us, a golden retriever, and she's just jumping and barking because she doesn't want this golden retriever to come near me. And the golden retriever just sits down and looks at her. And his
Mm.
owner goes, he doesn't know what to do with your dog. So I mean, just so fun. And think about that. I probably never would have spoke with that guy if I
Mm.
didn't have a dog.
Okay, so that helped you to have a connection once you when you're out with your pet and there's another pet owner, that comes across you, whether they have a dog or whatever animal that they may have as their pet, then there's that connection that you build.
Right. And I have some like 9 great points that I have on where pets help with mental health. So if it's okay with you, we can talk about those.
Sure, yes, definitely.
Well, the first one is emotional support. Pets offer unconditional love and
Mm,
compassion, which can reduce feelings of loneliness and isolation, especially for people dealing with depression or anxiety. So we talked about that a little bit, but we didn't go into the point where we're saying, okay, this dog can help deal with loneliness and isolation because in depression, a lot of times people do isolate themselves.
right, right. So, is there is there a way for the pet to know that a person is dealing with like depression or any other mental health issues?
Animals are very sensitive to their owners, and they
Mhm.
will know when there's a change in you. Depending on how you train your dog or how your dog is trained, their reaction may be a little bit different, but there will be some kind of contact that the dog will initiate with you to get you to play or to get you to snuggle. So
Mhm.
that's pretty great, I think.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
second point is stress reduction. Interacting with pets, such as petting a dog or cat, can reduce cortisol levels. That's the stress hormone.
Mhm.
And it increases the production of serotonin and dopamine, promoting relaxation and well being. And so, the example I like to give for that is the sensation you have when you've seen someone that you love so much and they've been away and you see them again, that warm, bubbly feeling you feel inside.
Mm.
That's what the brain can release when you're petting or spending time with your dog or cat. So,
Okay.
that's a good thing. And then also there's routine and responsibility. Taking care of a pet helps establish a daily routine. which can be especially beneficial for individuals managing mental health conditions and depression, as it encourages a sense of purpose and responsibility. A lot of people that have mental health problems can't get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
That's their
Mm-hmm.
biggest obstacle of the day, just getting out of the bed. And if they
Mm-hmm.
can get out of the bed, that's a win.
Right.
And when you have a pet that's waiting on you, that may not just stay where they're supposed to be, but will actually come and check on you, that just gives you like, gives you that sense of responsibility. Hey, this little guy needs me. This little girl needs me. I need to get up and feed them. And then once you get up and feed them, sometimes the act of actually, I'm sorry, that's my pack you hear. I have chihuahuas, plural. And but that can just help so much, having that routine that you're going to get up because you have someone that's depending on you, somebody that cares about you. So that helps so much.
Okay.
And then there's social interaction. We talked about that a little bit, because when
Mhm.
you have the dog, you go out and you go walk the dog, or you have to take the dog to the vet, or you go to the store and you take the dog. And when you have the dog, other dog lovers are drawn to you, other animal lovers are drawn to you, and you end
Mhm.
up having the most fascinating conversations with people that you would normally never talk to, because when you don't feel good, you shut down. You try to
Mhm.
get in and get out. That's your whole purpose. And so I think that's a wonderful thing right there. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I will agree with that with the now it doesn't always have to be an animal lover or pet, but I agree that you do attract people to come to you when they see you with, out with your animal. I did have a dog as a family pet as an adult. I'll put that out there. It was a big dog. It was a cane corso.
oh wow.
Yes, so of course it attracted people to the dog because he was a big dog. Even as a puppy, he was like 85 pounds or something. He was big.
Wow.
Yes. So people would see him and either they were like, oh, look at him, or oh, that's the big dog, so but he was a protector. And that's one thing I I know remember always about this dog. He protected the family, even family members from each other. So for some reason he was always attracted to me. I don't know why. And he would get between me and other family members if he thought that they were going to do me harm. So yeah, so like I said though, people out, if you walk the dog, then people will see your dogs, whether it's a little dog or a large dog, then it always brings attention, which could, adds to that social network and being able to build your mental capacity better, I guess, to say, in order for you to be able to socialize more and be out.
Right. Think about if you had just moved into a new area and you didn't know anybody, but you took your dog out for a walk. After a while, you'll have a community of fellow dog walkers or people that are in the places
Mhm.
that you take your dog that you're
Right.
interacting with. So it really helps. It really helps. Um, the other point is non-judgmental companionship.
Mm.
Pets offer a safe space. We always talk about feeling safe. And it's like you can tell all your secrets to your pet and they're
Mhm.
never going to tell. And they will sit
Right.
there and they will listen, and you feel as though they understand and it's just important sometimes to feel that you can voice your opinions. And with that
Mhm.
pet, you can do that. It helps people process their emotions,
Mm.
because if you can talk it out, you can work
Okay.
through what the problem really is. Or if you're really angry and you're talking to your pet about it, it'll help you analyze what's going on, because you're telling them, and then sometimes you may tell them something and realize, okay, that didn't sound right. Maybe I need to look another way. But on the serious side, it helps people manage symptoms of trauma or anxiety. So
Mm.
somebody that's in the middle of a full-blown anxiety attack would need that pet that's okay to be quiet and just be held and loved.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Um, and I guess like if you're talking to your pet and they give you a reaction, like a facial reaction or something, it's almost like you were talking to a person, because
Mhm.
then it can make you to think, well, what did I just say to get this reaction? Am I being clear, or am I, what is going on? So it does kind of, I can see it being able to process what's going on in your head.
Right, right. And then therapy and assistance, like we were talking about earlier before we came online, there are therapy dogs that are specifically trained to do things,
Mhm.
helping the blind. And some people can't open the refrigerator, and the dog opens the refrigerator for them. Some people have to cope with
Okay,
health
wait,
issues.
let me go. There are, there are
Dogs
pets.
that, oh, German Shepherds, not Chihuahuas. I've seen German Shepherds open
Open the
the
refrigerator too.
refrigerator for their person.
Yeah, see, I never heard about that.
You
That,
probably wouldn't
then I'm
want the
like,
dog to do
that's
that for
now, can they cook the food for me? I'm just joking.
you.
But
I don't think
you
you would
know,
want it if they could.
right. But I mean, I never knew that there are dogs that, or any type of pet that would be able to open things, help
Yes.
around the house like that. So that's
They know
interesting.
how to fetch pills. If they feel their owner having an onset of something that medicine will help, they've been trained to go fetch the pill bottle and take it to
Oh,
the owner before the problem happens.
oh,
There's a girl that has her own blog. I can't remember her name, but her dog was trained to notice when she was getting ready to have a seizure.
I think
And
I've
the
heard
dog would
that. I
alert
think
her and she would know to go lay down.
Mm, okay.
Dogs are amazing. They are so smart and they have such potential. I mean, when they say man's best friend, I mean, I really go for that with dogs. Because there's
Okay.
just so much they can do to help you. People with PTSD, they've started
Hmm.
working with them and dogs more to help them with the
Right.
traumatic part of that PTSD when it kicks up and they can't cope. Autism, there's so much work going on with children and autism and pets. And
Hmm.
that's one of my loves right there, to to go with a child that's on the spectrum, that's very quiet and hasn't quite yet learned how to make friends, and let them spend time with the dog.
Hmm.
And it's like you see them opening up because they'll talk to the dog. There's no pressure there. So even if they're nonverbal, just touching and petting the dog gives some comfort. And I
Hmm.
mean, it's just a good thing. And Alzheimer's, patients with Alzheimer's, like specifically also if they've had a dog, it will bring back those memories of when
Oh,
they had a dog. And it's amazing the research that's being done now and all the things that we're finding out that dogs can help with. It's phenomenal. It really is.
okay. All right. Well, that's some great tips and things
Well,
to
I got two
know.
more.
Oh, you got some more? Okay, I'm sorry.
Just two more. Just two more. Sense of security. Remember, you said your dog was your protector. So dogs
Hmm.
give people a sense of safety. That's also helping with the research with PTSD in dogs. That safety that
Okay.
they give help people with PTSD. Because PTSD, people used to think that it was just for soldiers, but
Right.
people other than soldiers have PTSD.
Yes,
So
yes.
they're using dogs to help with the trauma from that because they give reassurance and they reduce fear.
Hmm.
So I like that a lot too. And then the last one, and the one that I know helped me a lot too, it lowers your blood pressure.
Mm.
Yeah. Scientific studies show that dogs, when you have them with you and they reduce the stress so much that it lowers your blood pressure. Because when you're anxious and you're upset, your blood pressure will climb. Well,
Right.
spending time with your dog or your cat or whatever your animal is will help you with your blood pressure too.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks for all of those tips. And so one thing that we know, like your specific pet is a dog, but people have a variety of pets that they use for their personal therapy.
Yeah.
Are are there ways that the pets are trained? You mentioned that they can be trained to know how to, like say, open a refrigerator or know when a person is sick. But I'm thinking of, like, if it's a cat, or you see there's sometimes different emotional support animals that's
Right.
not necessarily a dog or cat. And so I'm wondering, do they train these animals, or do you know if these animals are trained to help that specific person? Because I know they use horses for certain
Right.
things, or somebody might have a gerbil or something small, that they have at their home. Or I know someone who had a pig as a pet in their house, but I don't know if it was for support therapy or anything. But
Well, it's that
you know,
emotional support aspect for some of those smaller animals that, but I mean, they can be trained too, but not in the sense where we would be saying that a person with PTSD should use them.
mhm,
But there are other animals other than dogs that help with PTSD. Like you said, horses are a great help with that. And the best thing for the person to do is to sit down with a therapist or a doctor and talk about which animal would be best for them. I mean, personally, for me, I only really know about what a dog can do for you because I've lived that life, and
mhm,
that's my love language, dogs and making you feel better about
mhm,
yourself in the world. But there are other animals out there that can help people. People just have to open their minds and, first of all, ask for help because that's not something that we normally do. Normally, when you're hurting or you're unsure, you keep that to yourself. And now
mhm.
we're in an age and a climate where it's okay to say, I'm not okay.
We would, yes, yes, we talked about that. So let's bring that up, because we're in a generation. We come from a generation that was what happened in the home stayed in the home. And if you had a situation going on, I know for my upbringing and culture, it was you go and talk to your pastor, someone at the church, even in your prayer closet. You go,
Hmm.
it wasn't where you might talk to your best friend or close family member, but it's not something you share outside of your family. And now we're coming into an age where it's okay, it's okay to talk and do those things. So you're starting to see a rise in the various types of therapy that's being offered. So pet therapy is one of those ones. And so I'd like to know about how were you trained in this specific type of therapy?
Well, first of all, I started out taking a class with the Virginia Department of Behavioral Health, and they had a health class where they talked about mental illness and drug abuse and how to peer support those issues. And that opened a lot of conversations and a lot of doors for me, where I realized that, okay, mental health is a big issue. It's not small, it's not a secret, and there are resources and avenues out there for you to help yourself or help others. And then I started researching. I can research like the best of them, and I just dived into it and watched videos and read books and just gathered up everything that I could. If I found another group that was doing pet therapy, I studied everything I could about them, what worked, what didn't work, and then that's how I came up with She Life.
Okay, great. And so from there, from all the research and studying that you did, is that how you determined what pet do you wanted to have us to use with your pet therapy?
I happened upon my pet by mistake.
Okay.
My kids and I, we wanted another Chihuahua. We had two, and we wanted another one. I can't tell you why. I guess they're just like potato chips. You can't just have one.
Okay.
So we decided we were going to drive to Farmville to a breeder that had Chihuahuas. And my kids had already looked at the pictures online. And when we got there was this cute, fat little puppy, and she was performing for us. And we were falling in love with her. And I asked my kids, is this the dog? And they were like, this is the dog, Mom. And then this little tiny skinny dog ran from the back, put her paw on me, and spoke, like, and I said, she's mine. I know.
Wait a
And my
minute, you
kids were
forgot
like,
about the dog that was performing for you. And
my,
what was
my kids were like, what? What are you doing? And I said, she needs me. I need her. And the guy that was the breeder of the dogs, he goes, you really want that one? And I said, yeah, she spoke to me. I have to take her home. She needs me. And so we went home and the kids were kind of bummed out because they were like, Mom, how could you do that? And then the breeder called and they go, if you want, we'll give you a deal and you can come back and get the other one. And I said, oh, no, I don't need more than one. I already have two. This will be three chihuahuas. I don't need another one. Well, that night I couldn't sleep. And the dog moaned and whined. I thought it was for her sister. I didn't know if it was really for her sister or not, but you know how you create scenarios in your
Mhm.
mind.
Yeah.
So I called them like at 5 a.m. and woke them up and I said, I need the puppy. And they go, really? You're going to take the other puppy too? And I said, yes. So they met us halfway at a McDonald's and gave us the other dog. And from that moment, I was inseparable from her. And that's how,
You had four dogs at that point.
yes,
Oh,
4. Chihuahuas are, and this is totally my biased opinion, okay,
okay.
from being a Chihuahua owner for years now. They are just so special and their personalities so unique that each dog has its own place in our home, and not every dog is ready to be an emotional support dog. There are some dogs that just need to be your pet.
Yeah, okay.
Those are mainly dogs that won't take commands, like Grace. Grace does what Grace wants to do, but she is such
Mhm.
a loving and wonderful dog that we would never part from her. But I would never take her anywhere and try to have her have a meaningful connection with someone else that may be having a problem because it just wouldn't work.
Mhm.
But Luna spends like as soon as I walk through the door, she's ready. And she's with me until I'm ready to go to bed. And she has picked up on my habits and my emotions and what I do, my schedule. She knows when I'm supposed to get up. And if I'm not up, she starts making a noise. And she makes that noise until she sees me. So I used to have a problem waking up. Not anymore, because I can turn the alarm clock off, but I can't turn Luna off.
Mm.
And so I was able to take her attentiveness to me and train her to be attentive to other people.
Ah.
So that's
Okay.
how that worked. And then I started looking when we were looking at other dogs. Yes, I got more.
Oh, you got more. Okay.
Yes, I got more. I didn't stop there. I started looking for traits in the puppies, and it's a hit or miss. You
Mhm.
don't always get what you think you're going to get. They're like children. You can assume you know what you're getting, but
Right.
it may
They
not be.
are. People do see them as their children. So yes, I understand.
So I ended up with 3 really good emotional support dogs, but I have more than that in our family.
So how many dogs do you actually have?
Okay, we have, now I got to get my fingers out and count. I believe we have 6.
Okay.
And we have one dog that's not a Chihuahua.
Uh-huh.
Totally crazy story about how we got this dog. My daughter was at work and there was a stray dog running around and she caught it. And we were just keeping it until we could get it to animal control. The dog did not make it to animal control.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now we have, she's a medium-sized dog, but when you look at her next to our 6 and under pound Chihuahua, she looks huge until she gets out around other dogs. But
Mhm.
she thinks she's a Chihuahua.
Okay. So you have five Chihuahuas and one other dog.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And there might, I was walking them one day and this guy goes, why do you have so many dogs? And I go, because they're my pack. And he goes, oh, makes sense.
So is your other dog also, you have it as a therapy dog? Have you trained to be a therapy dog?
Only 3 of them are actually trained as therapy dogs. The other dogs are either too young yet to go out and be therapy dogs. They're in
Mhm.
training. I have 2 that we're working with trying to get them ready, but the other ones are just meant to be family pets.
Okay, so let me ask you this, and I want to tell everybody that's online, make sure that you look in the chat because Del Rio's contact information is in the chat. And I know you're going to want to know more than what she's sharing now. So you can go to her website, check it out. You can join her. You have newsletters, or they could send you, and you can send them information if they are interested. Also, you can give her a call and find out more about this. But I wanted to know, is there something specific people should look for when they're looking for a therapy dog
When you're looking for a
or
therapy dog, you can
or a therapy pet, a pet that
a
you'll help
therapy
them?
pet. You can
Mm-hmm.
go to someone that provides them. Then you'll know you have a dog that is ready to be trained to be your pet. Or you can try to do it on your own. And that's where you just find a dog or a pet that you have a connection with,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go work with them, because it's not going to come without the work unless somebody else is putting in the work so that they know how to sit and stay. It's important that they know how to behave at the doctor's office, in the store, walking on the street, in the car. That's how you can tell the difference between an emotional support dog and like the family pet or family
Mm-hmm.
best friend. Emotional support dogs have a sense of calm. They
Mm-hmm.
can sit and let people walk around them. They won't be bothered. Strangers can approach them. They don't have to worry about the dogs growling or being aggressive, because they're just hanging out there waiting on you, trying to see what it is that you need and have a great day with you.
Okay, now when a pet is trained, do they receive some type of certification to make sure that they are meeting certain standards?
Well, this is the thing right now. You will see lots of companies on the internet. I've seen some ads on Facebook and Instagram saying, get with us and get your dog certified as an emotional support dog. And unfortunately, right now, there is no set certification for an emotional
Hmm.
support dog. For a therapy dog, yes, they have to be trained, and you will get some kind of certification from whoever trained that dog for you. Most often, those dogs are like for the blind, or dogs like I was talking about, that dog that helped with the refrigerator, or the dog that was trained on how to sense when the owner was going to have seizures. They will come from a specific place, and they will have some kind of certification with them. But you can train your dog yourself. You can actually go to your doctor, your therapist, and talk with them. They will sit down with you, and if they really believe that you have trained your dog to the extent that it needs to be, they can actually write you a letter.
Hmm.
I had a letter written for my dog when I used to stay in an apartment building, because you don't have to pay pet rent for emotional support dogs. So I had the
You know
certification.
what? Don't say that, because then you can have people out, all
But
kinds
that's the
of
thing.
people.
It's not something you can fake. It's not something you can fake, and it's not easy to get a doctor to write that. The doctor's got to actually see you in action with the dog and see that the dog is able to help you with your condition. If it's
Right.
anxiety or depression, or if you have a medical condition that the dog helps you with, it's going to be very apparent to the medical professional that that dog's been trained to do that. But you can go online and buy those fake papers. And unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get you too far if you get where you're going and your dog misbehaves. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, I've heard horror stories about people that have taken their dog places and said that they're emotional support dogs, and they're not. And they just have some bad results because they're pets. They're not supposed to be put in those high stress situations.
Yeah, so I know that I've flown and people have their pet on the plane with them, not encaged, but just holding them, and you never know that the pet is there until you actually see it.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been able to, if I need to take her with me, I've been able to dump my purse and put Luna in my purse, put my wallet in my pocket, and nobody ever knows she's in there because she's quiet. She knows when
Mm.
she's in there, we're going somewhere, and she's calm. She knows how to behave herself. She also knows how to let me know she needs to use the bathroom. So that's another thing with some other animals that people are maybe working with, or they want them to be emotional support animals, but they don't quite have the potty training down. Dog will
Hmm.
let me know when she has to go. She won't wait till the last minute, but she will let me know she has to go. And then I have that opportunity to excuse myself and take care of her needs and come back. And I mean, that's one of the things I noticed in the airplane with some of the other dogs that were on there. They were not having good issues with their potty training. And I'm thinking to myself,
Mhm.
are they new to this? Or are they not really emotional support animals? And then I get mad at myself because I should not judge. I don't know what stage they are in their training, if they are training their dog or whatever, but I don't know. I just guess sometimes I'm just like thinking to myself, what's going on here?
You know, that's interesting because I didn't even think about the dogs or the pet's needs because the pet does need to use the bathroom. The pet is going to want to be fed. You
Yeah.
know, so when you are in a situation where, like on a plane or any type of even drive, well, if you're personally driving, then you can, you know, pull over maybe. But if you're on a commercial vehicle, then it is, you know, out of your control.
You
Like
gotta have
you're
a plan.
waiting.
I
Right,
would be able
right.
to take my dog into the bathroom, that little tiny bathroom in the plane. I have a little tiny square. They're called pee pads, and she will go on command on that square when I'm ready for her to do it. And then I fold it up and I double bag it, and nobody ever knows.
Mm,
She could
okay,
just be going in there with me because I don't want to leave her in my seat. I mean, that's
right.
just how discreet you can be if your dog is trained. But then
Yeah, but
you're talking
that's
about the
excellent.
responsibility of a dog. Dogs are also expensive because they have to go to the doctor.
Hmm.
They have to have their shots. There's not a one-time shot and it stops. Like for our kids, after a while, when you first have them, they have these shots that you have to go and get. And then, but after a while, you graduate and you're not in the shot age anymore.
Right.
That doesn't happen with dogs. You have to
Oh,
keep their shots up because if you're going to have them out in the public and around people, they need to be safe from what's out there in the world. It may not be them with the problem, but something else in the environment that would make them sick. So they need to have their shots as well. They
mm,
need to have their teeth cared for. A lot of people, I see them walking around and they have pets with no teeth. And a lot of people don't know that you're supposed to care for your pet's teeth. When I first got my first dog, I thought the milk bones did all the teeth cleaning that was needed because that's what the commercial said, you know? I give them the milk bone and it cleans their teeth. But
right.
I mean, when you think about it, their teeth are just like our teeth. Food gets stuck in them. They get old and their teeth need to be cared for. I mean, that's an issue that a lot of people are not ready for when they get a pet. They don't realize that because we're so commercialized.
Mm.
We don't really think about all that goes into it and then the grooming of the pets. I mean, of course, they have fur, but that fur sheds. They may have a skin condition where they need to have a special medicine or a special cream. I mean,
Yeah,
you really
yeah.
have to
Oh,
invest in them. It's not just them investing in you and giving you all their attention and time. You have to in turn give that too.
yes. And that pet insurance doesn't cover everything.
No, but pet insurance has gotten so much better than it used to be.
Okay.
It used to be you would get pet insurance and it would help you with healthy pet visits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's not when I really want it. I want it when there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have pet insurance that help with regular visits and emergencies, not just healthy pet visits. So it's coming along. It really is. And then we have other organizations out there that want people to have pets, but know that they don't have the money to do all of that. So there are vets set up now that have like really nice fees where you can have a regular vet for your dog and not have to like take a loan to get health care for your dog. And
Yeah.
organizations that give you food. If you really want a dog, you can get a dog now because everybody knows how beneficial it is. There's been so many strides, like with the pet insurance and the dog food and the vet to help you be able to make these choices to give yourself a richer life.
Okay. Now, someone who's interested in that, how would they learn to get all of these services for their pet?
It's so easy now. You go online for everything. You can actually type in cheap dog healthcare. And the vets that have these sliding fee scales actually have, I guess they put the searches in their description when you put them in, but it'll come
Mhm.
up. And a lot of them will actually have a menu of prices, and you can actually look at what you're going to pay for an exam. Because just like when we go to the doctor, we have to pay for an exam. They have to
Right.
pay for an exam. You can't just say, my dog hurt its paw. Can you treat it? Nope, they got to get an exam.
Hmm.
And sometimes the exam is the killer because, the exam is a big fee because they don't know what they're getting into. So they're going to charge for that exam because they got to pay for stuff just like everybody else does. But
Right.
vets that are out there that you can look at. And if anybody's really interested in it, please go to my website, shelife.xyz, and I would be happy to give you more information on those vets. I know where they are in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. If you're outside of those areas, I'll try to help you, but I readily have the information for the vets that are in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And as far as pet food goes, your local animal shelter sometimes will give out pet food. And then there's other organizations, if you just search on the internet, that will give you free pet food for your pets.
Okay, that's great to know because pet food can be expensive. And you have to know, you have to learn what food is best for your pet. I do remember that because, and with the skin condition, having to make sure it had the right food. And all pets are not the same. So you have to make sure that your breed has the right food and everything that's done, just like taking care of a child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's this big rage trend going on right now for cooking for your pets. And a lot of people are saying, that your pet needs fresh food and that that's the way to go. So that's my big thing I'm researching now. What would be better for my pets? Fresh food or the Royal Canin that I spent years finding that's good for their sensitive skin and their sensitive stomachs. I mean, so, it's
Right.
look at that.
I mean, they show this commercial now. I think it's called Fresh Pet. I can't. I'm not endorsing any particular brand. I do want to say that, but I've seen the commercial where the pet food is in the refrigerator, and people are saying, "Oh, why do you have the pet food in the refrigerator?" And then it's like, people
It's
seen the
just
commercials.
food. Yeah.
Right, right. So I will say when it had the pet. Actually, I went by someone that I knew years ago. They always made their pets food with chicken and rice.
Mhm.
And so that's what started making with the pet that we had. I, the dog we had, we would make boiled chicken and rice together and supplement it with other food. You
Was
know,
that your first pet ate like that?
my first pet? No,
Uh-huh.
the pet that I had as an adult. Then we did that for years. And
My
and
first
also
pet
it was
ate table scraps. I knew absolutely
fun.
nothing. I knew
Well,
whatever
yeah,
we ate,
my first
we
pet
gave
was
it to
when
the
I was
dog.
a child. And I'm gonna tell you about my first pet that I had because we had family pets before I was born. But my first pet was actually a Saint Bernard.
Oh,
So somewhere I think the pictures are lost, but there was a picture of me where the Saint Bernard was small puppy and I was little, maybe about 2. And then there are pictures of me still around 2 or 3, and I'm riding the Saint Bernard.
oh,
So,
how precious.
so that was my first pet coming up. But yeah, back growing up, you did give your pet table scraps and things like that. But as an adult, the dog we had, yes, we would fix chicken and rice and then supplement it with hard dog food. But we had to learn that, again,
Right.
you have to learn what's best for your pet. And so I wanted to ask you though, with the therapy with the pets, do you, when you take your pet out to do therapy, do you charge? How does that work?
Okay, it's a standard fee.
Mhm.
come out. If it's just like I call it like a chi check, where
Mhm.
I would just go to like a nursing home or a hospital to visit someone. I'm only there for about 35 minutes or so. And I think the prices on my website, I want to say it's somewhere between 25 and $30. And it's basically just going in, checking to make sure they're okay. If they want to hold the dog, they're welcome to do it. Some people do want to hold them. Some people don't want to. They just want to look at them, and that's okay too. Some people are just happy to visit with me. And
Mm.
that's fine too, because I enjoy the visit as well. But no dogs are ever left alone with
Mhm.
anybody. I'm always right there. So if someone's a little timid around the dog, I will just hold the dog and let them touch it. But if they are a dog lover and want to, then the dogs are welcome to. I'll put a blanket down first, and the dog is welcome to be with that person. I can do home visits. I know a lot of people have parents that they can't go visit as often as they like, so they can get a chi check as well. I'll go out and see them if they're really, really worried about their parent. I mean, we can go make sure they're okay. If they're not okay, I can do a phone call. If they're great, I can also do a follow-up phone call and say, hey, everything's going just great. So
Mm.
I think that's a load off for the kid that can't get there, that wants to be there for the parent because they got to work, they got their own kids and things that they have to do. They still want to make sure mom and dad is okay, or that aunt and that uncle, that they love and they want to take care of. So that's one way I do it. I'm trying to start something new. I'm really excited about it. I'm still working the kinks out of it, but I'm trying to get the dogs ready to do reading with children. So,
Okay, yes. Tell us about that.
so basically, it would be just them reading to the dogs. And the
Mhm.
dogs, of course, have to sit there and listen attentively while being read to. So
Okay.
But the cool thing about it is I'm writing books about each individual dog that I can give to the child to read, and they have sight words in them. So I've made sure that the books are chock full of sight words so that they're getting what they need educationally as well as socially and emotionally. So there's like twofold reason for that visit. Get some reading in there and get some stress free time with the dog.
Wonderful, wonderful. So it sounds like you are really hitting different different goals or aspects right there by having your writing. So you have an author here, so people that make sure that she's an author of children's books and that she's making sure that they're getting that education by putting the sight words for them and also serving the purpose of them being the with the therapy with the dogs. So your
Right, because you
clients
don't
like
need to have a mental illness to want to spend time to spend time with the dog. It can be stress relief, especially
Mhm.
testing time in
Right.
school when you're like, the kids get hung up on this testing too. They're nervous, the teacher's nervous, everybody's nervous. Why not bring in a dog and let them spend some downtime just playing with the dog? Because we're
Yeah.
talking about, the dopamine and the serotonin coming out, giving them that feel good feeling, taking some of that stress off their shoulders so they can go back and finish testing. The teacher can take a break and come in and be with the dog. I mean, there's just so many ways you can incorporate animals, pets, specifically for me, dogs, chihuahuas, into your life to
Mhm.
make it a little bit easier. I mean, it's a tough world out there.
It is. It is. So your primary clients, it sounds like, are um, older adults
Mhm.
and children.
Children, yes.
Mm.
Both ages that need our care and our love. I mean, little kids, sometimes people think they play and that's all they need. And some kids are struggling. Some people don't know their kids are on the spectrum and they're struggling and they don't know why they're struggling. And
Mhm.
kids want to belong. They want to be a part of things. And sometimes they just don't know how to communicate with you that there's a problem.
Mhm.
And some kids shut down. I know you've been in a circumstance where you've seen that kid that won't play, that's all by themselves. If there was a dog or someone trained to look for those behaviors, that wouldn't have to happen. I mean, think about all that time that they could spend doing something else if they weren't worried about fitting in and being accepted. And
Mhm.
then with our older people, you want to be touched when you get older, and sometimes you find yourself alone. And there's no
Mhm.
hugs, there's no cuddles, there's no kisses, and there's nobody for that conversation unless you're talking back to the television or on the phone, which isn't the same as that actual physical touch.
Mm.
So that's where my heart lies with those two age groups.
Okay. So how are you getting the word out?
Right now, I have my website. I
Mm.
need to make sure everybody knows that it's chilife.xyz. And I picked .xyz because I know this is so corny, but I said you tried everything from A, B to C. Now let's get with Chi Life and XYZ. So
Oh, that
I psyched my own self out with that one, but I really but I
it's
really
a great
like,
way for you to remember your website.
yeah. So I'm going to be reaching out to PTAs this year. They
Mhm.
always do some kind of supplemental learning for the kids after school, and sometimes if they have intercession, those little sessions between holidays that the schools have, I'll see if I can offer my services to them and come out to them. And then I will soon have reels on Facebook,
Mhm.
Instagram, and TikTok showing what a chi check is and the different settings that they would occur in. So you'll be seeing more about Chi Life.
Okay, so how can people follow you on social media?
Okay, you can go to my Facebook page, which is Chi Life, CHILIFE. It's there. You can go to my website. That would be the best way to keep up with what I'm doing and what's current, and to ask for information or ask questions. You may have a question about your dog. You may want to know, hey, can my dog be a therapy dog? I'd love to discuss that with you. It's possible. You don't know until you ask. Um, and then as far as my book, as soon as my book is ready, it will be published. It will be on the website as well.
Okay, so great. So if you have Chi Life from Facebook, and are you on any other social media platforms?
Uh, Not right now. Not right now. Right now, it's just Facebook. Coming soon to other areas.
All right, well, we'll have make sure people follow you on Chi Life and go to your website and be able to get more information so they can contact you and learn more. So do you have anything coming up in the near future where you'll be out and about?
There is a event going on this weekend. I believe it's called. Of course, now I can't find it. There's a dog event going on in Alexandria this weekend. I will put the information up on Facebook and my website, but I will be there with at least two of my dogs there, supporting homeless dogs and trying to help get them adopted. I want to say it's the Lucky Dog Run, but I'm not sure. I don't want to give the wrong name out. So I will get that and post it up for everybody. But if you want to come out there, I'll be out there with at least two or three of the dogs, and you can meet us and meet my special friends.
All right, and you have a special friend ready for us, don't you?
Yes, I do. Where is Luna? I think she is making her way. Yeah, she's on her way. She
Yes, we want to see
she was
one.
resting. Here she comes. And this is Luna. And this is my little girl that got herself, thank you, baby, that got herself brought home instead of her
Well, not instead of, but before she came home
before.
from
Yeah, well,
the
she
yes.
got a whole, what, half a day before we went. And Luna is so amazing. This is also my 5 a.m. alarm, because at
Mhm.
5 a.m. she's ready to eat, whether I want to get up or not. I could be trying to sleep in and I will hear her because she is ready. She knows it's time for the day to start.
Now,
So
how old is Luna?
Luna is 5 years old.
Oh,
She is five. She is 5 years. I ate and she can smell
mhm.
it. She's 5 years old. She's very calm. She weighs at the most 6 pounds. Sometimes she stays around 5 to 6 pounds. But like I said, she fits in my purse. Luna is one of those dogs that loves to dress up. So you'll see her in little outfits all the time. She's also cold a lot, so she really loves the clothes because they keep her warm.
Mm.
But
And
Luna goes with me mostly everywhere.
And so when you take your pets out to, be therapy, then you have them dressed?
It depends on the person. I'll try to get a little bit of background on the person first. Some people do not believe animals should have clothes on. And I don't want to offend anybody, so I'll try to get a feel for if it's okay for them. If
Mhm.
not, I mean, she'll just have her puppy harness on. But most times when you see Luna and the other three, they will be dressed. They love doing it. They've been doing it since they were, with me. I got them all at 6 weeks old. So that's kind of what they know. So they go ahead and they get dressed and they're just happy. And if you
Well,
can, she's really calm. She'll sit here the rest of the night with me and she will not get up at all. She'll just sit here and hang out with me.
oh, well, that's good. That's good.
She's
Well,
really calm. So she's good
thank
with
you,
kids
Luna.
and older people.
Well, I appreciate Luna, making an appearance and letting us see her beautiful outfit and being so calm right now, all looking in the camera.
She
She's
is.
camera ready. We say that she is camera ready.
She's priceless to me.
Well, thank you, Del Rio, for sharing your passion about helping others with Chi Life, your business, and with pet therapy. And we're going to look for you in more spaces as you expand and all that you're doing. So again, make sure everyone that's out there, you're looking and watching this now live or the recording, make sure that you get in touch with Del Rio and learn more about all that she's doing. If you're interested in, hey, you have your own pet and you want to know how you can move further, I'm sure she'll be able to be a great mentor and share with you how she got started. Check out her website and, give her a call and talk, and she may be able to come out to a social event or activity that you're having so she can be able to share everything that she's doing. So, Del Rio, before we close out, are there any final words or anything that you'd like to share with everybody?
Yes, I just like to say I'm so glad that mental health is being talked about now. If you're sad, if you just don't know what to do with yourself anymore and you feel like you can't hold on, reach out to somebody. There are people that do care. You don't have to do it by yourself. Just talk to somebody. It could be somebody on Facebook that you don't even know that well, because that's a community too. You can reach out and have a whole community in Facebook and just let them know that you need help. Don't suffer alone.
Great, and that is true. I mean, that is definitely true. Do not suffer alone. Even though you think you're alone, you're not alone. All right. Well, thank you again, Del Rio, and I appreciate you and Luna and all your other pets who were quiet. They were quiet
Thank
during the
you.
whole time. I can't believe it. We're having so many, and they were all quiet during our session today. So again, dot XYZ.
Yes,
Get
XY.
everything from A through ABC. Now it's Chi Life XYZ.
That's right.
So make sure you reach out to Del Rio that way. And if you have any other questions about this great, amazing information or others that we've had in the past, go to my YouTube channel, Royalty Business Group, and you'll find Del Rio and you'll find all of the past episodes that we've had. So I look forward to engaging with you all next month. And you have a great evening. Thank you, Del Rio. Thank you, Luna. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.